Chacho, can I borrow some sweats? Is what I did problematic right there?
Yes.
Let's discuss.
Only Pitch Nation can decide.
On elevator pitch. Who am I talking about? Obviously, that was from Nacho Libre. We are talking about Jack Black pitching fake movies to Mr. Black in the year 2009. Most possibly the apex of his adult to child run. But now we are deep in his bag as he is still the most successful child actor to ever grace the silver screen with his new hit movie Minecraft, starring Jason Momoa in a wig that he borrowed from Chris Pratt on The Electric State. And with me, as always, is Will Peters.
Hi.
You're very stately for this Jack Black conversation.
He is a man of serious nature.
Yeah.
He's a man.
Yes.
Chicken jockey. Sorry. I was trying to keep it serious.
Let me introduce our guest, dude.
Oh.
Yeah. And the second Oliphint to grace the elevator pitch studio, pitch arena as we call it. This time it's Grant Oliphint. Thank you for being here.
Hey, it is a pleasure. I'm a huge fan. Let me just say.
You've dreamed of this day.
Yeah, I have. I've had literal dreams about this. They were terrifying, and I'm very nervous right now. So
usually
don't freak out.
But yeah, I think you are our first fan. If we're gonna boil it down,
Maybe so.
You're in the original couple.
if you want to scroll down to like one of the first episodes, and this is by the way a call to anyone listening. There's a comment section on Spotify,
Yeah.
where you can not only share the podcast, but you can. I don't think you can like it, but you can comment on the podcast,
And you can vote in our
You can vote in our polls too for pitches.
You gotta vote.
Yeah.
It's your civic duty.
Yeah.
I always do.
But I think on one of the first episodes in all caps, our only comment ever on any podcast in all caps is just great episode. And it's from you.
Well, it was a great episode. What can I say?
Do you remember what episode it was? Because I don't.
First episode?
Was it? No, I don't know if it was the first. It was one of the first, though.
I can find it right here.
That was one of the first.
When you vote in the
was-
polls, do you typically agree with me or disagree with me?
I always go with my gut, which is Matt. But,
Wow.
Me too, actually.
Yeah.
It was for the Jerry Bruckheimer episode.
Oh,
yeah.
You said great episode. I can't believe you listened.
Well, speaking of Jerry Bruckheimer and his great movie Enemy of the State, let's talk about Jack Black.
Yes.
Did you hear that transition?
Unbelievable.
beautiful.
It was so good I heard it.
Yeah. So I will admit I have not seen Minecraft, the movie. The movie sweeping the nation right now.
Yeah.
Not sweeping the world. That would be that Chinese animated sequel that's made $2 billion this month.
Whatever. Forget about that one.
But it is sweeping the nation. Movies are now officially back thanks to the Minecraft Corporation.
Thank you to Steve.
Who's Steve?
You're welcome. Jack Black.
Oh.
He plays Steve.
Oh, okay.
And
Was
let me
I supposed
tell
to know that?
Pitch Nation is going to eat you alive for that.
But you guys saw this movie, though.
Yes,
And
the three of us together.
Yeah.
we did.
Oh, wait, sorry.
Chicken
Is Jack Black in the... he's not here yet?
Chicken jockey.
Oh, you're a chicken jockey.
Sure.
You're the chicken jockey.
I'm the titular chicken jockey.
Can you guys explain to me everything that I need to know, including chicken jockey?
Bruh.
Just all of it.
Old head alert.
Set the scene for the movie.
Okay.
He's sundowning. He's sundowning.
Okay, so producer Tanner, you used to be so lame. Like legitimately so lame.
Now I'm fresh AF.
Now you fresh as frick. Now go ahead.
And you're saying things like, sorry, I missed that. I was making paper. That's what you said before we started.
Dude, lit. Are we doing right now?
Yeah.
What are we doing? What?
Okay, so
Yeah.
we've seen another big blockbuster original from the guys at the top. Guys that you wish you could know. Guys that probably look a lot like me, but with nicer clothes and haircuts. Now,
Sell yourself short.
thank you.
You look terrible.
Don't sell yourself long.
That Bud Light sweatshirt really suits you.
I appreciate it. It's kind of my look. I basically all I really want to say about the Minecraft movie is that when we're doing a Tanner Does a Shitty movie review. Minecraft. Wow. A movie that was made for children and the youth of probably everywhere around the world. A movie that made me feel like the oldest man alive. Wow. I cannot believe how much of that movie I didn't understand. I was literally looking around like, what the hell's going on? This is so crazy. A movie that I thought was really boring throughout, that seemingly I was not in agreement with the 8-year-olds in the crowd. Now, I will say one thing.
They thought it was so boring. Do you remember those 3 8-year-olds?
I do remember the 3 8-year-olds.
Okay, continue.
The one thing I'll say to this movie's credit, to Jack Black's credit, my credit. Jack Black's mom, have you guys heard about this?
In real life?
In real life, is a rocket scientist. She worked on the Apollo missions. That's true. And while she was pregnant, or not pregnant, what do they call it when you're giving birth? While she
In
was
labor?
when she was in labor for Jack Black, she was working on a piece of equipment that saved the Apollo mission. And
Thanks for doing your homework.
you're welcome. Because of that fact, because Jack Black being born resulted in the lives of astronauts being saved, he's allowed to go out and make Minecraft.
Well, do you think a little bit of radiation got to his head when he was in?
No,
When he's in
I
the
think
womb?
he was totally fine.
Yes.
I think that because of that, Minecraft can exist. It was the best movie I've ever seen. I was really excited. 10 out of 10.
Skadoosh.
You've once again,
That's Kung Fu Panda. I'm lost.
you've once again taken a hard left turn at the end of that review. The only way you know,
He's
only way
a
you know
man
how.
of the people. He's a populist man. He's a man with no backbone.
Can you guys
Made of rubber.
We'll set the scene for me with Minecraft. What was the theater experience? Was it crazy?
You know, we were actually in a 10 a.m. Minecraft screening.
So that's like
Dolby.
That's, like
It was Dolby.
It was Dolby.
Don't sell us short. Come on.
we didn't cheap out.
that's really prime time for kids to go see a movie, though.
It is, and there were kids there, but it was definitely not packed.
Okay.
There were 3 children who, at the end of the movie, we walked behind them, and as the 3 of us are going, like, kind of feels a little soulless. That was kind of boring. And then 3 children, presumably the prime audience for the movie, were like, that didn't make any sense. That made literally no sense. And if those 9-year-olds didn't get it, well, then nobody got it, except that so many people got it because it made so much money.
It really
So
made me rethink my entire opinion of the movie. I was like, oh yeah, no, I hated that. Yeah.
I guess it didn't make
Yeah,
sense.
no.
So you're telling me we're sitting down right now and we're completely cold on Minecraft?
I thought it was awesome.
Well,
No, you didn't. You said you didn't get anything. You just said it was awesome at the end of it.
I would say
Lies.
here's what I will say is that I think Minecraft is like almost an identical film to Red One, good and bad.
Okay.
In that the good is that I think I enjoyed it more than a lot of people have, and a lot of people are of the dire opinion of like this movie is the death
But
of cinema.
why did you enjoy it specifically, though?
I don't know. I think it's just like I sat down and my expectations couldn't have been lower.
Okay.
I expected to walk in and see a movie that has no artistic merit, has no has a reading comprehension of 0, has nothing going on. And it's not far off, but I can't. But when your expectations are in the basement, if you go up the stairs a little bit, you're like, they kind of outdid themselves with that one. I in the same way with Red One, where these are 2 movies that I had no interest in seeing, that I purely saw because I'm a corporate shrill, a sheep, if you will,
For big podcasting?
for big podcasts.
And
This
we
is
love
why
you
they
for
keep
it.
making those movies, man.
because of people like me.
People like you who buy tickets. You bought my ticket, so
I did. Well, you're an Entourage member, obviously. So, I was definitely, of the 3 of us, the one who liked it the most, I think. And before Tanner's total tailspin in his complete heel turn, Tanner was definitely the coldest on the movie.
Oh, really?
But I would say I had a decent time, while also I kind of just like you go in and you turn every part of your thinking brain off. It's hard to then be critical about it, even though that is the job.
Well, so, Grant, Do you concur, first of all?
Oh, definitely. I mean, there are definitely some moments where it's like, wow, that was pretty funny. But they are few and far between. I think I really enjoyed. There's this one scene, and we had a good laugh about it afterwards.
We did,
where,
the guys back in the bus.
I don't know. I guess
You and all the 8-year-olds at the pub after?
yeah, the ones who didn't get it. I was trying to explain it to them, and
They were so confused.
the kid, he like lays out, Jack Black versus like Steve, if you will, lays out, all these different like materials on this table, and then like smacks it, and it becomes like a weapon.
Yeah.
So then you get this kid who's like, okay, I'm so creative and witty. He starts laying out like silver and like this tater tot and
He lays out
smashes
tater tot.
it. And then Jack Black's reaction is like, that might be the coolest tater tot gun I've ever seen in my life.
And he says it like that.
He says it just like that.
Okay, wait, what's
I
it? A
laughed-
tater what?
It was like a tater tot launcher or
Yeah.
Tater tot launcher?
Yes.
one of the redeeming qualities of the film, of course.
It's heavy stance on tater tots.
Do you
Yeah.
think that if David Harbour was there, he'd hold that tater tot launcher and say that's the Nissan Altima of the War on Terror?
I think almost definitely.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
That's what I would have said.
That's a working man reference for you.
No, I got it.
So, oh no, I was talking to Grant. I know you got it.
No, he got it.
Oh, that's Grant over there too.
No, David.
Oh, David. Harbor. Yes. Are you blind right now or?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
No, I'm good. I am blind, but I'm feeling all right.
This will make perfect sense when I watch the Statham episode, by the way.
I guess I'm just a little bit kind of honestly disappointed that you guys didn't have like a live chicken in your theater or something like that.
Our audience was really tame.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed about that,
Yeah.
to be honest with you, because maybe that would have changed your opinions on the movie itself. Because I feel like you guys saw this movie almost as if you turned it on Peacock.
Yeah. It was a very leisurely experience, and it almost tricked me into thinking that maybe
This isn't such a phenomenon.
maybe theater going audiences really aren't as awful as I thought they were in certain movies. Like in there's like a certain sect of movie that Minecraft Red One is trying to be a part of this, but the kind of ironic like crowd going experience and these like the Minions movies fall into this where there is a solid there's like these are for children.
Yeah.
And they are made for children. And they're also marketed to be like, and you can sneak a couple teens in here and have a crazy time.
Mm-hmm.
We won't tell you what you can and can't do, but we encourage that because that makes us way more money. And that's what's happening with Minecraft, except in the Americana brand at 10 a.m. on Saturday, where it was the thing that was the most like rambunctious were the three kids that are next to Tanner that just talked at like regular like speaking volume throughout the entire film, but they weren't rowdy. They were just like, oh, there's Chicken Jockey. Chicken Jockey. Yeah.
There's Chicken Jockey.
Oh, Steve. Cool. Oh, there's a creeper.
And these are characters from Minecraft, the video game. Yeah.
Yes.
Have you ever played Minecraft?
No, I mean, Will, when you texted me,
Sundowning.
let's do a
Matt Sundowning.
Get his ass, Tanner.
what the fuck does that mean? So when Will texted me and said, hey, let's do a Minecraft episode and talk about Jack Black, not to throw more cold water on an episode that seems like it's already swimming in us just shitting on everything we're talking about, but I said I couldn't be less interested in doing that. And I only said that because I have no relationship with Minecraft at all. It's right peak in our generation, though. You know what I mean? 2010 it comes out or something like that.
Yeah. We could have played.
2010, 2011. That's
Yeah.
I mean, we're like 12-year-olds when this game comes out. Like,
Yeah.
right there with it. Tanner, you ever play Minecraft? I know you fucking played Minecraft.
I've never.
Are you serious?
I don't play video games.
I think Grant's
You don't
really
play video games.
I'm the only one who's played it, and I can't really say that I played it. I have done like the free world stuff.
Yeah.
And
Overworld.
I would overworld. Yeah, of course. Stupid.
I'll cut that. Fucking.
I would just I would dig
Here
into
goes your
mountains.
invitation for the next episode.
Yeah, I would dig into mountains and get lost and dig a hole in the ground until I hit the lava. And that was kind of the extent of my Minecraft playing. So
Pretty fun.
I don't know if I really got a lot out of it.
You never met a chicken jockey.
No, gosh, I would love to be like so cultured in the Minecraft world, but unfortunately,
And And Will, you were more of a Tom Clancy sleeper cell guy, or
Yeah, I was more of a Rainbow Six head. I never crafted. It was because it was when we were in middle school. It felt like it was an elementary school game, and then when we were in high school, those elementary schoolers were still playing it. And then when I graduated high school, those middle schoolers were still playing. And I was like, I guess I just missed the boat on it, like the initial marketing.
There was no bone in my body that ever was like, I gotta think about this.
You didn't yearn for the mines?
No. I didn't. I like you. I never played video games growing up, though. I was not a really video game player.
I was just
at
always
all.
more of a JRPG guy.
Yeah.
So this was just different for me.
What is JRPG?
Oh, just a Japanese role-playing game. So this was just like not totally in my wheelhouse, but
Total L-Riz.
Yeah, not too far off from like an NBA 2K11 or like anything like that.
yeah, Steve would crush in 2K. But Minecraft, I mean, obviously, I don't need to tell anybody they should or shouldn't see it. They probably will.
You should. Yeah. They be part of the phenomenon.
This is the thing that movies and studios are yearning for with each of their big releases. That it becomes a thing, kind of naturally. And
becomes a meme.
It becomes a meme, and this movie is like very much leaning into that. And I think there is grander problems at play in that philosophy in terms of the craft of movies and whatnot. And this movie, like a lot, what I started with earlier, a lot of the people coming out of the movie be like, I can't even critique it. Like, it's fucking Minecraft, dude. What do you want me to say? It's stupid.
You hate those things, though.
I know. I
you personally do. Yeah,
I typically do. And I'm trying to think about it in a way where it's like, and it's so hard not to do that because you're like, he's the dumbest shit. But it is like, it is better than I thought it was going to be. But Tanner is right that ultimately it's just a boring movie without really any conflict. It just has some good jokes. I think it's more visually interesting than I would have suspected. It like more so than I think like Red One or like they're doing stuff in there. They've just set their bar so low, and they're just like, we just need to get it over to a certain point and let everybody else do the rest. And they were right. It has done just that. So does it spell doom for the rest of the industry?
Or hope?
I don't know.
I actually think people don't talk about this enough, that movies like this keep theater doors open.
Exactly.
Like
yes.
Basically, if they get 1 billion people to go watch some shitty movie, then all 20 of the like sad, depressing movies that Will likes get to go into theaters, and all 3 people can go enjoy that, before they die or whatever. These movies are good for movie theaters.
Can I talk to you in the hallway?
No.
I actually, and I was thinking about how to craft this point for the last week. The point about a movie that I haven't seen yet. This is real peak podcast performance here.
Here he goes.
Let him cook.
I think it's not. I mean, I think it's good for the business of theatrical releases. Obviously, a movie makes $1 billion, then that basically gets put into making movies in the future for, I guess, less money or whatever. But I think that there really is a flawed problem with scaling the business of movies to a point where there's a necessity to crack the gold mine on an intellectual property as desired as Minecraft or Barbie or one of these movies that it's just like, as soon as they announce that a movie's going to come out that has this title, it will make $1 billion, whether it has good word of mouth or bad word of mouth. And if it has bad word of mouth and the word of mouth is bad enough, then it turns into viral word of mouth, right? And if it has good word of mouth, it becomes Barbie and it's a success for everyone. But my point is that these movies sustain a business model that drowns for the rest of the year. And it wasn't necessarily always this business model. The business model used to be exactly what Cord Jefferson said in that Academy speech he made when he won screenwriting or adapted screenplay, which was that you have $100 million and you make 15 to 20 or $30 million with that, right? And then all of a sudden, it doesn't depend on the meme movie to save people's jobs, right? It's like, look, what kind of sustainable business model is there? Will theaters close down if this wasn't going on? Yes. Would there be a consolidation? Absolutely. Would less people be making less money and it would just be a smaller industry? Yes. But would that industry like produce better shit? I don't know, maybe. I think all these larger conglomerates that are, that really fell into this problem when they were, at Comic-Con releasing 12 years of Marvel movies, and the stock price of Disney or one of these companies would go up when they do because they'd have their content for the next 12, 15 years mapped out. That type of strategy really fucking killed the idea of it really killed the strategy of how to make a sustainable business model for filmmaking, And I think that just because Minecraft was the most popular video game of all time and a lot of kids have it ingrained in their brain, in a core memory of theirs is building blocks when they're 10 years old or 8 years old or whatever.
They yearn for the mines.
Yes.
Yeah,
They do.
That doesn't mean that you've now cracked the code on whatever next step you needed to be making blockbuster movies again.
Okay, boomer, you just salty slay.
Sundowning.
Get his ass, Tanner. Skirt. I think all those points are fair.
Yeah. It's not even that original of a take.
Yeah. No, it's extremely recycled and iterative.
Right. There is an entire industry, cottage industry of movies going on with the Neons and the A24s, and you can even go into children's entertainment if you want to get into this with the children's studios, and you want to get into anime, you can get into that if you want to go to Crunchyroll and all the streamers with that. That seemingly exists below whatever is going on at Comcast and these companies, right? They're making less money, they're spending less money, there's less people involved with these movies. And that seems to be more of a sustainable business model than these insanely bloated companies that are praying that one of these movies just fucking takes off every year for them.
Type shit.
Yeah. I mean, obviously type shit, but it's not sustainable. And the studios at the same time is it's a double-edged sword. It's it keeps doors open while at the same time, what is it teaching audiences and young audiences to expect from movies? Is a whole other conversation. Where it's there are probably so many people that the only movie they're going to see this year is a Minecraft movie. That's or one of maybe 3 they'll see this year. And it sets the expectations of I guess this is movies that I see in theaters. And for families that can only afford to go to a couple movies a year, they go see one movie a year. It's a Minecraft movie. It just sets this standard of almost devaluing what a movie can be. Because it's I guess movies are just a fucking joke. They're just a Minecraft movie. And I'm supposed to be in on the fun. And I think that that's not inherently it doesn't have to be doomsday approach to it of I guess movies are just fucking jokes now. They didn't used to be this way. But at the same time, it is also they make a lot of good movies a year, and they release a lot of these movies a year in theaters. It's just really hard to get people to go see a Black Bag, to go see.
You think all those 8-year-olds should have been in the theater for Marissa Bella there?
Those 3 8-year-olds seemed disappointed in the comprehension of Minecraft.
I need more barber jackets in this movie.
I think they would have come out of Black Bag and been oh, that was so interesting. When Marissa and Bella, I think that they would have had some fiery takes, and I think that they would have shaped that movie in a way that I don't know. I just think that if it's a weird world to live in where, for us as big movie fans, obviously, where movie going and movies in general are just so much less of a priority in culture and take up so much less of a footprint that it's Minecraft is what people are oh, I'll go to the theater for that because that's funny.
How big were fucking movies? Can I other than
Huge.
100 years ago when everyone's well, I guess we'll go to a Nickelodeon and sit there for 8 minutes while the guy jumps off a train.
I'm more of a Cartoon Network guy.
No. How
Get
fucking
his
big?
ass!
How big were honestly? Look at the biggest movie of 1974, right? I think that's a year before Jaws, but whatever I'm saying. The movie makes what? Adjust for inflation, $500 million maybe. Seriously.
I mean, but that's a whole ticketing thing. That's the economy.
Okay, yeah,
That's
but how big were fucking movies that I'm misunderstanding this?
Just so you guys know, you have if I'm going off of my counter, 6 minutes to talk about Jack Black movies.
Shit. All right, we'll save that for another episode. Grant, how big were movies? No, Jack Black.
Jack Black.
Enough about Minecraft. Let's talk Jack Black.
Yeah,
Jack, Jack at the Jack, and
we're
Jack,
talking-
Jack is back at the back. Oh, Nick, Nickelodeon. Kids' Choice 2006 on April Fool's Day. Ah. Wait, we all remember that, right?
Yeah, of
What are you
course I
singing? What are
remember
you
that.
singing right now?
Oh, it's just the Kids' Choice Awards theme song. You might remember the other one that was like, Jack is back. Hit a splatter. Something like that, I think, from what I remember. But,
He hosts the Kids' Choice Awards, you're saying?
Yeah, two-time host. Thank you.
The only two-time host in history.
Really?
He's
He's like
got-
the Billy Crystal of the Kids' Choice Awards?
I just made that up. I don't know if that's true.
He's got several Blimp Awards. No biggie.
He's been slimed multiple times.
He's been slimed. Yes.
Did he host around when we're talking about him 2009?
I think a little before that.
Okay.
He's probably a School of Rock,
Well,
post School of Rock,
yeah.
and a post Libre, a post
doubt.
Nacho hosting.
We're talking about Jack Black in 2009, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we could start with School of Rock. That's 2003.
Mm-hmm. That's
Is this a core memory for you guys, School of Rock?
School
Yeah.
Rock, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, School of Rock's a
I think it
big
is for
one.
me, too,
I feel like
yeah.
everybody in our generation can also I say everyone, probably not everyone, but a lot of people.
Movies used to be huge, man.
School of Rock was fucking huge. Movies were huge. School of Rock was definitely a big movie, though, in many ways for people. I also think it's a movie that a lot of people go back to. He's so good in the movie. It's a perfect example of Linklater too, of just his flexibility. Come on, School of Rock rocks. School of Rocks.
School of Rocks. Yeah, Mike White wrote that too.
You sure did.
Ned Schneebly.
Schneebs.
Yeah, and there's the whole family incest plot of School of Rock. It plays differently now. I'm kidding. There's no incest. You have only my White Lotus season 3 heads
White
are gonna
Lotus.
get that.
Which is not you, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't watch.
It seems like a movie that was basically made for Jack Black.
yeah, it does feel like it was tailor made for him.
I watched it
doubt.
recently for this episode. Rewatched it,
Okay.
obviously.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it in 15 years, though.
Does it hold up?
It fucking holds up, man.
Hell
It's
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Skip it, a rap, bang.
He's here.
We have a black off going on. Well, maybe we should
have a
call it that. A jack off.
He really is.
That one's pretty good.
He is a human soundboard, though.
He was doing a lot of that in Minecraft also.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is he just this is his move now?
I think
It's
that-
always been his move.
That's why they hired him.
Yeah, I think there's two camps of Jack Black where there's Jack Black, the human that's kind of quirky, and two movie personas. There's Jack Black, the human that's just kind of a weird quirky dude, and there's Jack Black, the persona,
Yeah.
and that's your Minecraft, your Jumanji,
Totally.
where it's you're casting this Jack Black thing where he comes and he's like "Skidoo-boo-doo-ba-doo," and then there's which it sounds like that character is just a person who scats, but the Jack Black the human is when Jack Black is in a movie like School of Rock or The Holiday where that stuff is still there.
He does it in both those movies.
But it's he's just a guy that is just kind of weird, and he's just he is in Blockbuster with Kate Winslet, and he's going through.
We'll save the holiday. Save the holiday, though. Save the holiday.
Reeling it back in, and or Margot at the Wedding, these movies that or even King Kong, is kind of this weird play on the Jack Black human, how can we make this guy kind of a dramatic lead too? They really were doing a lot of that in the 2000s. What can we get away with Jack Black? What can we try? What can we do? And I think that he did all that stuff really well. And then there's the other side, which is kind of the zone he exclusively lives in now, which is we've hired Jack Black, do the thing that you do. Do the, you're overdoing that thing that you used to be able to kind of go between normal guy, but that sometimes breaks into song.
You know what's funny is that Nick Cage, I heard someone make the point that by the time he got to National Treasure, he was kind of just doing Nick Cage karaoke, which is funny because if you reverse engineer it, that's probably the first Nick Cage movie I saw, and then I made my way back to the Con Airs and
Oh, that's interesting.
and
yeah.
I feel like maybe that's kids' relationship with Jack Black now is they're like 20 years old and they're like, you ever seen this movie School of Rock? You know,
Yeah.
and someone's hosting a podcast here in 20 years. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it would almost be for Jack Black. I wonder if people would be like, you know, that Jack Black guy who so boring now. He actually was pretty sick like 10 years ago. Like, I wonder if people now would be like people that have grown up with him would be like, you know, the guy that's like in Jumanji and like Goosebumps, like he only does franchise stuff. If they'd be like, you know, he actually used to do like a cool, weird stuff like in the 2000s. And now
He used to do underground shit like King Kong.
like Nacho Libre and fucking
Nacho
King
Libre,
Kong.
yeah.
Like he used to do some shit.
Can I borrow some sweat?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Still offensive.
Is it still offensive?
Still offensive.
What about this one? They're just niños trying to get the wigglies out.
I think
that one better, Tanner?
That one's pretty clean.
Not Tanner.
Sorry. Is it the board of
Jose
standards and motion?
Guzman? Is that
Luis Guzman.
Luis Guzman?
He's not in Nacho Libre. That's problematic.
Well, I have to
That's just
keep.
who I am. I'm saying it's
By the way, speaking of Nacho Libre, Jared Hess directs Napoleon Dynamite, Nacho Libre, and the fucking Minecraft movie.
Yeah.
that's all he's done.
I think he's done a few other
There's
movies.
like 4 more in there.
He did a movie called Mastermind with Jason Sudeikis and Kristen Wiig and Zach Galifianakis, which is like one of like the comedies are kind of done. Kind of movie, like 2015, 2016 range.
We killed comedy.
Yeah. that's a YouTube video.
Yeah. We killed comedy. Yeah. Grant, where were you the night that comedy died?
Yeah.
Oh, where was I?
You were right at the center of it.
Probably with you. Probably like totally hanging out with
buried
you.
it.
Probably drinking a couple of Budweisers.
A couple of Bud Heavies.
You like Nacho Libre?
I've never seen Nacho Libre.
You've never seen Nacho Libre?
Yeah, I know. I feel like the trajectory of my life took a turn when I
Jack
never
Black
saw
one?
it. Yeah, I mean, really, I feel like the big black ones I haven't seen are Nacho Libre, Bernie.
Bernie's on the Rushmore.
It's
Bernie's in the top 4. It has to be.
it is good.
Never seen it.
It's pretty good.
Can't even think of any other ones.
What's your favorite black?
Yeah.
The Holiday has to be
Okay.
the best Jack Black performance of all time,
All right.
and I'll tell you why.
Please do. Yeah.
Let's dig in.
Yeah.
It's Jack Black honing in on Jack Black. You talked about Jack Black playing into the persona of Jack Black,
Of course.
becoming this mythological character, if you will. And I feel like this might be one of the first movies he's doing that with his character Miles here. We all know Miles.
Of course.
And, you know, I mean, if you want to talk about that Blockbuster scene.
For anyone who hasn't seen The Holiday, by the
Yeah,
way,
yeah.
this is a movie where it's a Nancy Meyers movie. Famously makes complicated movies, including It's Complicated.
Yeah.
Movie where Kate Winslet is in the UK and Cameron Diaz is in LA, and they switch houses. And Cameron Diaz starts hooking up with Jude Law, who's Kate Winslet's brother. And
Prime Jude.
Prime fucking Jude, dude. Those fucking glasses. Goddamn.
Yeah.
And then Kate Winslet starts hooking up with Cameron Diaz's ex-boyfriend, played by Ed Burns' friend. I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
I think so. He's like the composer for the trailers that
for the trailers that
Yeah.
she does or something. And he pulls up in the Rari. And you're like, Jack Black has money. Maybe he could figure this out with Kate Winslet now. But then they start spending time to get to Blockbuster.
Yeah, they become fast friends, and you know, it's like I wanted to check because I didn't know for sure, and I looked at the Holiday script, and that Blockbuster scene is so different from what's actually on screen.
Oh,
Damn, you went script to screen?
Thank you.
Script to screen, you have to for the Holiday.
For a scene like that.
The best Jack Black movie, as I said. And, I mean, it's true that he is just doing his own thing, but you gotta respect how cool he is when he's picking up a different DVD at Blockbuster off the shelf, and he picks up Chariots of Fire. He's clang, 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 clang. He picks up Driving Miss Daisy, and he's like, this one's Hans. It's a good one. It's screwed didn't do, rootin' didn't do, screwed didn't do, say. And Kate Winslet's just dying. I'm sure that's like her authentic reaction because you're
think so?
you're in love with this guy.
I'll tell you, he wasn't having anything but Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, I believe that. Where have you gone, Joe DiMaggio?
Can't go anywhere these days.
That's so fun. I love the story behind that too.
What's the story?
How Dustin Hoffman was just like passing through while they were shooting this scene, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, we got to use you." So he just like showed up on set. He wasn't supposed to
Are
be.
you serious?
Yeah. It's not in the script. Script screen.
They would never write Hoffman in.
No.
You can only just pick him up off the street.
Good. He's pals with Nancy, I think.
Do you like when he picks up what was the DVD he picks up and he's like, it's Brill. Do you remember that? It's Brill. He said, I think that was the end of it. And then the last one he picks up, I forget what movie it is, but he's like, he gets really serious on it. And he's like, this one just goes to a completely different place.
Does he pick up The Mission?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
mission.
okay,
Right,
yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Is Morricone score. I think he talks about
He goes,
that.
Morricone goes to a completely different place. And then he sees his ex-girlfriend outside.
Yeah, devastating.
Do you remember what he says when he comes in, by the way?
No.
Do you have this part fired up too, by the way?
No, I completely black out every time.
I ascend to another plane.
Dude,
I'm so enthralled by
his-
the Blockbuster scene. that
His
I-
ex-girlfriend, he spots her outside along with Dustin Hoffman. Come on, do the scene. No, spots her outside with like this dude, right? He comes back in. He's like, oh, my girlfriend was cheating on me. And he's like, yeah, like apparently she's been staying with this guy since they got back from Santa Fe. I spoke to her on the phone this morning. She said it's snowing out here. Probably just fucking check the weather. She was in fucking Santa Monica. And he's broken up about it.
He's good, man. He's good. Now,
So does it work or not?
so you say this is the coolest scene.
No, but what is he?
I'm sorry. Does it not sound like the coolest scene? I think I just
know
spelled it out
there's a
for us.
large sect of people that would really counter you on that and be like, this, like, because I think that's the main like fighting point on the movie for people. I think people like either like go with Jack on this or they're like, doesn't work. Him and Winslet. I think him and Winslet do work. I think they're adorable. I think he's adorable, but maybe I'm saying that because so much of my personality is based off Jack Black.
Really?
Like me making little noises and like using filler words.
Your scroots and your scrounces.
Your jibbies and your jabbies, your goobies even. I do all of that, and that's all Black, man.
It was predicated on black the whole time.
We had you from day one.
I go back and forth, to be honest with you. Some holidays I see that movie and I say, that's really sweet. Other holidays, I can't believe it happens. I think Nancy Meyers wrote the parts too well, you know?
Yeah.
The Jude Law, Cameron Diaz is scintillating stuff, right?
It's delicious, yeah.
And they go like, that's happening in the sleepy offshoot of London. But what's going to go on in the hot lights of LA is like Eli Wallach, you know, doing aerobic exercises in the pool.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, big dollar.
It's like, would you like to come over for Hanukkah dinner? And like Kate Winslet being like, I need a good guy, you know?
Yeah.
She finds like Jack Black. I think the moral of the story is if you live in Los Angeles and you have a ton of money and you're like pretty funny,
you get pretty far.
Yeah, you could go pretty far in this
And
world.
those Santa Ana winds are breezing.
I mean, it really goes to show that everybody in Los Angeles is a fucking loser.
What do you mean?
I'm saying me. I mean, I'm a Jack Black. You're like this guy. He walks in there and he's like, "Goo boo doo ba boop." Kate Winslet.
Do you think it's charming or do you think it's like a lobotomized Jack Black performance? You know, they kind of have to tone him down to a point where you don't get his full might.
I think you get. I think he's definitely toned down. I think that's like the amazing thing about this is that I don't think he's going full like what he is now.
Yeah.
Like in a Minecraft movie, and I will call it a Minecraft movie. They don't want you to call it the. They use a different article on purpose. In a Minecraft movie, Jack Black, like half of his lines, he doesn't finish them. He like they just like end in like a noise. He's
Negosh.
like, yeah, a negosh. We're gonna round the corner and goobity boobity boop, and you're like, I hope I see where they're going. I don't know where they're headed, but
Chicken jockey? I don't know.
and chicken jockey in the holiday, like he does say things. He does like communicate things. He is like actually making a connection with Kate Winslet.
They definitely have a connection.
Yeah, they do. And he just also happens to be just like, he's just like a weird kind of like nerdy guy that might have done a cappella 20 years ago.
He doesn't do any rom-coms after that, right?
No, he
that I can think of?
not really. No, not yeah. I can't think of one either. Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, I think
He's
He
the
does it the
romantic lead.
same.
you
I
could
think-
argue.
So he does it a year or two later. He does Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, Tropic Thunder. He's
A real adult role there.
it's a real adult role.
Yeah.
And it's. I mean, we're pitching right after Tropic Thunder, 2009.
Yeah, Tropic Thunder is when he is tied to a tree and tells I forget the name of the rapper who's in the movie that he'll flesh him if he unties him.
I mean,
Work the shaft, cradle the balls, swallow the gravy.
it's not only is it a great line, but it's a great performance.
visual.
It's a great movie, and
Or is that line in The Holiday?
it's really hard to tell. I mean,
Yeah.
See, that was Nancy for sure.
it does sound like something he'd say to Kate, but
To Kate?
to Miss Winslet. It's probably the last real like adult performance. It is the last adult performance he really gives. Like because after he kind of wanders in the woods.
Just Kung Fu the year later, I think.
Yeah,
douche.
he's doing Kung Fu Panda. He graduates to Goosebumps. He graduates to Jumanji.
Jumanji, Welcome to the
The
Jungle.
house with a cock in its balls. he does a Minecraft movie. He's about to do. He just did Borderlands.
That movie
That's
took
another
8
voice.
years to make, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another voice part.
Another voice part. He's a big voice guy now. He was Bowser, Super Mario. Like he hasn't done a movie that isn't based on IP or isn't geared for children since 2015,
Wow.
which is
It's devastating.
that's 10 years.
One more
And we
thing.
won't get one.
Before we pitch, by the way, just one more thing on The Holiday.
Of course, we can do an hour on
The best
Holiday.
Jack Black movie. Yeah.
We've already done an hour on other
do
things.
you guys remember at like the WGA ceremony when he asked her out? He's like, "What are you doing for New Year's?" She's like, "I'll be in London by that point." He's like, "I've never been to Europe," and
Yeah.
he invites himself. And she's like, there's a moment in her eyes, and she's like, at that point, she's very relieved that he asked that, right? And then do they kiss at that point? Because that's the most physical affection that you get from them.
Yeah.
Whereas Cameron Diaz and Jude Law are like making out like instantly when they see each other.
Yeah.
Well, we want to see that for sure.
Do you
Yeah.
want to see it?
Well, you're talking with. You want to see?
You wanna see
Jack
Black and
Kate?
Winslet?
or you want to see Law and Diaz?
¿Por qué no los dos?
Wait, but
Is that from Nacho Libre?
I did this out of order though, because the scene I wanted to mention before we pitch is the when he's like, I made a song for Eli Wallach when he walks up for the ceremony, and he's like, I also made a song for you, only the good chords. And he starts doing the song.
Yeah.
There's a look in Kate Winslet's eyes where she's like charmed by it, she's moved by it, but there's like a little bit of a just like, oh fuck, am I really gonna fuck Jack Black right now?
Yeah.
She says that too, I think.
Yeah.
From what I remember.
But it's either Black or Eli Wallach,
And one is nearly dead.
Talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
Arthur. Is that his name?
Arthur, yeah.
A Night with Arthur.
You guys ready to pitch?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, sweet.
Skeeb.
Didn't mean to totally suck the energy out of the room, but you know what they say: a skaroot, a tarata, a scringo.
Yay! You're back and you're better than ever.
Woo! All right, so
Jack is back.
we're getting into the pitches. Everybody knows the rules. We're going to start with a pitch question. And the pitch question is, I did a little bit more research, and now I know which one of the Apollo missions that Jack Black's mom saved. So my question for you is, which one of the Apollo missions did Jack Black's mom save?
Okay.
Wait, did you had mentioned before that they had not gone to space yet? Was it the first Apollo mission is what I'm asking?
I'm not giving you hints. That's not how this works.
Well, that could be your guess.
I'll go.
Was A1.
I'll go 11.
All right,
I'll go
Matt's
11
going
and a
with
half.
11.
Unbelievable.
Going with 11.
You,
Can I talk to you outside?
you. The Linklater time is over here. All right.
Give me
I'm not going to give you anything, but you can guess a number if you want.
Tempting.
less interesting. Give me 13.
I'm giving Will a 13. And wait, what was your number again?
11 and a half, my lord.
All right.
Put him down for an even 12.
Okay, Will. It is exactly 13.
Let's go.
Jack Black's mom saved the Apollo 13 mission while giving birth to Jack Black. So
So it's the one where they're trapped in space.
that's the one.
That's pretty amazing.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
Jack Black is in Ron Howard's. Apollo
Jack
13.
Black
Ron
in
Howard.
13.
Yeah. Oh, I'm Ron Howard.
You should just be a gleam in Ron Howard's eye.
Do you think Bill Paxton's like, I got a fever up here, I gotta get home, and then Houston is just like,
Is that an unborn baby on the other side of this?
Ed Harris, give him the mic.
All right, and then this week's pitch stitch, I don't know, something's just electric about that. I'm not changing it.
fuck.
I kind of had two ideas for pitch stitches. One of them I feel like is kind of a layup. You can't say what the title of your movie is, but you have to scat me the title of the movie. But
I think people are done hearing us scat.
Why? We haven't even done it that much.
Haven't even touched the surface of what could be done.
well,
His scatting in Nacho Libre is pretty incredible when he sings the song about the lady that he loves. Do you remember this?
No.
All right, never mind. Go.
the other one, which I felt like maybe you guys would be a little bit less excited about due to the current state of things. But I think that it's hard to talk about Jack Black without talking about his band, Tenacious D,
Which we haven't mentioned yet.
which
Yeah.
recently has had its own trouble. Cue the violins.
He
Because
said they're going to be back, though.
okay, turn on the trumpets.
Tenacious D will return.
But his buddy Kyle Gass, I guess, got in trouble for something. I
Yeah,
don't
he did
know.
some shit in Australia.
Yeah, he did some stuff in Australia we're not allowed to talk about. But I think that this would be a great time for Jack Black to get his buddy some work. So cast Kyle Gass in your movie.
Okay. Oh, I actually got a good. Yeah.
Cool.
But I'm also going to require you to scat the title for me. So
Okay, I can do that.
Today's episode is brought to you by KR Drywall. I know what you're thinking. Drywall, movies? What in the world do these two things have in common? Well, Will, when at least I sit and ponder upon pitches, it's always important to start with the right materials. Because an idea is one thing, but making sure the right cast of characters and craftsmen behind it is another. Well, guess what?
What?
It's the same when you're building or renovating a home. And that's where the great people at KR Drywall can help you out. So if you're in the LA area and looking for licensed drywall work on your residential or commercial property, give Kevin a call at 818-626-6590. That's 818-626-6590. KR Drywall, the official sponsor of Elevator Pitch.
When DV Wetwall won't give you what you need because they're just so fucking greedy. Hit him up down at KR Dragwall.
Yeah, fuck you, DB Wetwall. All right,
Fuck DV Wetwall.
now let's get to the pitches.
I'm going to go first because I won
yep.
and I'm a winner.
Not yet.
Yeah, let's.
Well, you haven't heard my pitch yet.
Before we started this, you did say this could be my last.
Well, not because of its quality.
he's
You
moving
never
to
know if a pitcher has suicidal tendencies. All right, who's editing this?
I, for one, yearn for the pitch.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Go.
My movie is called
Scat it.
The Restaurateur. This movie is in 2009. It's directed by Richard Linklater, and it stars Jack Black. Woo! And it also co-stars Uma Thurman.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Shock.
What was she up to around then?
She had done what's the one where she's a superhero? She's like somebody's ex-girlfriend and she's like a superhero.
TikTok, buddy.
No, I want to do a minute on this. Okay, so let me give you the log line of this movie. Our movie takes place in Austin, Texas. Obviously, it's Richard Linklater. When an out-of-control stand-up comic tanks his reputation even further and sends his own ass to rehab, He turns to a beloved restaurant down on its luck in the local Austin restaurant scene to pour money into and earn the local favor of the city, but quickly finds the job and the people to be more than he bargained for. Anyway, so a little bit more about this movie. This restaurant is called Smokey's Barbecue Joint, okay? It's a staple of Austin. But old Smokey himself, played by none other than the late, great Sam Shepard. Sam Shepard is very sick. He is ill. He is aging and dying. And his daughter, Uma Thurman, Jenny Kittner, Smokey Kittner is what we call him. Jenny Kittner, the daughter, she is a college dropout and kind of a lifelong employee of her father's, but she doesn't have the business acumen. She's kind of a rough and tumble character. People are kind of getting pissed at Smokey's and they're saying ever since Jenny took over and old Smokey got sick, the food's been shitty. And this was a staple of comedian Beau Feldman, Jack Black, of his childhood in Austin. Beau has grown up to be a very successful comedian, but he's a rambunctious fella. And a couple months back, our movie starts with Beau going on stage in front of a sold-out Austin crowd. It's hometown. And he's really drunk, and he poops on stage and lights that poop on fire and chucks it into the crowd. And that doesn't go over too well with the local Austin folks. Yeah, I know you like that. Feldman. Beau Feldman's agent, well, first he has to go to rehab, right? Beau Feldman's agent, his manager even, let's call them both. He doesn't have a name. He's played by Nick Swardson. This is prime Nick Swardson time. He's about to be ingratiated into the Happy Madison verse. He suggests that Beau find a local cause to support, to earn back the favor of the people and to prove that he is not a detriment to society, and that he should, kind of get his life back on track. Well, Beau says, well, the restaurant that I loved growing up to is a fucking flop. Let me go pour some money into that and let me take ownership of it. And he buys the restaurant out from under the old Smokies, which really pisses off Jenny, okay? Jenny wants to do this herself. She realizes that she can't. Smokey sold it behind her back. He says, the man has money. He's, every good man has a rough past. To which Jenny says, is that true? And we don't get any further into that. And so Jenny and Beau obviously butt heads quite a bit, okay? And they just don't get along because Jenny sees things the old Smoky way, even though the old Smoky way isn't working because she's not Smoky. And Beau points that out to her and says, hey, you want to run a restaurant? You can't just do what's always been done before. Sometimes you got to go in there and ruffle some feathers. Now, Beau is kind of an egomaniac. And so with pouring a lot of his own money into this, he's got a lot at stake, and he decides to get uber involved and kind of oversteps in Jenny's eyes, which obviously causes quite a strife, all right? He starts really ruffling the feathers. He starts adding items to the menu, putting Beau Feldman's signature sauce on the menu. Things get out of hand quickly, but Jenny and Beau will come to love each other. They'll come to love each other as coworkers, as friends, and when the movie ends, you might even think, hey, they might become lovers.
Wow.
Yeah. And obviously the line cook is played by Kyle Gass. And this movie's awesome. It rocks. Richard Linklater's going to do it for some money.
I would love to see that.
Wow.
That pairing.
Yeah.
Jack
Of course,
Black and
who
Uma
wouldn't?
Thurman.
I
like there's a brand deal in there too with what's his name again? Sorry.
Smokey?
Yeah, no. What's his name again? The comedian?
Beau Feldman?
Yeah, Beau Feldman's signature sauce.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's Beau sauce.
That'll be at Target as the movie comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get your 64-ounce Beau sauce.
It becomes a chain like Bubba Gump,
Yeah.
the Forrest Gump.
We can really market this.
Well, you have a great recurring joke where you create out of thin air sauces as you
Have I done this
speak. Yeah,
before?
you've done this before. Yeah.
I just love sauce.
With like the Shaq and PDR, when I was like, oh yeah, the burger's good, you'd be like, you get the Shaq sauce there.
I mean, you can put that on. I kind of get that from Grant too. You can put that on anything. You go to any place. Did you get their house sauce here?
You just name the place and the
gotta get
sauce.
the sauce.
Get the Hooters sauce there.
You've got to get the Feldman sauce. It's so good. You got to get smoky sauce too if you're going to do both.
One thing I want to say about this, I like that pitch a lot.
Yeah.
I think what's great in maybe pitching to a comedian is just like invent a scenario that has like a lot to play with. And I think that the idea of just this like rehab comedian going to an old barbecue joint, I've been to old barbecue joints.
I know you have.
Those people, there is gold to mine there. And you already nailed one of them. Exactly what he said. Naming a sauce after just a guy. Just
Yeah.
a lazily named barbecue sauce.
Bo sauce.
Which I will be enjoying on my...
Feldman fries.
Okay.
Hashtag save Smokies.
Save Smokies. Save Smokies.
But I loved it. All right.
Thanks.
Now, I guess 11 and a half is closer to 13 than 11.
Nope.
So, are you ready to pitch?
Oh, ready as I'll ever be.
All right, go.
All right. Jake from State Farm. The Geico Gecko. The Aflac Duck. Flo. Mayhem. Now, meet Max Sunshine. Jack Black is Ben Tuttle, an aspiring actor dealing with his breakup from Amy. Ben goes to a bar and crushes some Budweisers with his boys, Donnie and Skaggs. Donnie pitches a low-budget indie movie to Ben, but Ben dismisses it, believing he's above it. Skaggs, who sells insurance, alerts Ben that his company is looking for a new face of the brand. Ben is desperate for work and reluctantly auditions for the ridiculous role of Max Sunshine, an overly enthusiastic mascot for Sunshine Insurance, wearing sunglasses and sunblock on his nose. He sings the jingle. On a cloudy day when life feels tough, Sunshine Insurance makes it all enough. I'm Max Sunshine, I'll brighten your day. Through life's up and downs, I'll light your way. Hippie! And that's amazing, obviously. And this impresses Veronica, played by Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Finally.
She's the marketing executive for the company. She sees his potential and gives him the part. So, Max Sunshine explodes in popularity, and Ben's life changes overnight. He's now a household name as the face of Sunshine Insurance, appearing in dozens of commercials and talk shows. And the money floods in as well. Luxury cars, courtside seats to the Laker games, and the full VIP treatment at every turn. He's suddenly living the dream, but it's all as Max Sunshine, not Ben Tuttle. Mm-hmm. With his newfound fame, Ben tries to audition for more serious roles, but Max Sunshine has become so recognizable that no one takes him seriously as an actor. All of his serious auditions are met with laughter or dismissal. Ben tries to win back Amy by taking her to fancy restaurants and picking up flowers across the country on a private jet. But she's impressed by his celebrity. But she's unimpressed by his celebrity status and sees it as a distraction from what really matters. Meanwhile, Veronica keeps exploiting Ben's fame more and more, demanding that he participate in over-the-top brand activations. Veronica's assistant, Tracy, starts noticing Ben's disappointment. Tracy is played by, you guessed it, Christine Taylor of Dodgeball and Zoolander fame.
I did guess that.
Good 09 right there.
Yeah.
Tracy sees through the corporate manipulation and begins offering support to Ben, slowly getting him to open up about his desire for real acting. Max Sunshine is thriving, but Ben Tuttle, he's miserable. Veronica plans a massive skydiving stunt for Max Sunshine to launch a new campaign. The idea is that he'll jump out of the plane with a huge parachute displaying the Sunshine Insurance logo. Veronica pressures Ben, making him feel like this is the ultimate test of his commitment to the brand. The stunt will be broadcast live with millions watching, the pinnacle of his mascot career. On the day of the jump, Ben arrives in costume with the sunglasses and the sunblock on his nose, and Tracy urges him to realize he's more than just a mascot, that he's risking his life to keep up with the persona he's been forced into. But there's no time. The plane ascends. Ben anxiously experiences a moment of ego death and finally understands that his true self is being buried under the layers of Mac's sunshine. Ben pulls off the sunglasses, rubs off the sunblock, and slowly steps forward to the plane door. He sings the jingle. On a cloudy day when life feels tough, Sunshine Insurance makes it all enough. I'm Max Sunshine, I'll brighten your day. Through life's up and downs, I'll light your way. Then he jumps out of the plane without a parachute. And by the way, that jingle is never meant to be sang the same way twice. Everyone panics. A skydiver goes after him. That's obviously Kyle Gass. And saves him in the air, just hundreds of feet above the ground. They land and tumble and roll. The camera crew and reporter run over to him as he gets up. He grabs the mic and addresses the camera. My name is Ben Tuttle. I'm a serious actor, and now I also do stunts. Tracy, Skaggs, and Donnie rejoice, while Veronica is furious at the damage Ben's done to Sunshine Insurance's reputation. Tracy and Ben quit together and ultimately share a kiss because it's 2009 and there's no such thing as platonic relationships. And in the final
Still
scene,
ain't.
Ben is on set of Donnie's indie film, sitting in a chair that reads, Ben Tuttle.
Wow.
No longer Max Sunshine. He's no longer the famous mascot, but an actor doing what he loves.
Wow.
Surrounded by people who believe in him for who he is. This is Max Sunshine. And it's directed by Jake Kasdan of Walk Hard, Bad Teacher, and the Jumanji films.
Yeah, it's good. Wow,
This movie's going to make $6 million, but it's going to be a hit at South by, no doubt.
Wow. Whoa.
Another great example of like pick an interesting situation and just let these people just kind of be funny in it. Depressed mascot for insurances. I mean, that's an all-time pool.
That's right.
That is also right in the Napoleon Dynamite zone of like alternative studio comedies where
Yeah.
they would do that in 2009.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have one note.
No, please go
Lose
ahead.
the slogan. No.
You're telling me you have a character named Skaggs?
Yeah, that's Mike
And that's
White.
not Kyle Gass?
That's Mike White. It has to be.
Okay. Then I rest my
Just because
case.
he kind of looks like a Skaggs. Doesn't
He
Mike
does.
White look like a guy who would be, oh, I'm Skaggs. I'm Mike White. I'm Skaggs.
More of a Skuggs.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Craig Robinson is Donnie, of course.
Of course.
Because,
It's 2009.
it's 2009.
Sir, I want to shake your hand.
I want to shake your hand.
That was really great.
That was really good, dude. We have not had anyone sing as a part of a pitch before.
Well, it's
that I
Jack
can remember,
Black,
right?
You know?
I don't think
you gotta,
so.
You got to work in his talents and his scrounce and his scrats.
He will do
any
it
way you can.
either way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you just have to.
That's
roll
the
with
thing.
it.
It's not even in the script. He's just doing this.
Yeah.
Because you do go script to screen.
Yeah, I'm a big script to screen guy.
You run Screencraft, the Instagram account, right?
Don't tell Nancy.
Oh, man.
All right. Great pitch.
That was great. Really good.
Will's in trouble.
I'm in trouble, too.
Yeah, Matt, speaking of in trouble, are you ready to pitch?
I'm ready.
Go.
Just take a sip of Friday beer. All right.
Don't tell Nancy.
My movie is called Holidays. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
You got to scat it.
That was a joke.
Okay.
He's kidding.
I'm kidding. It's a direct sequel 3 years later to Holiday. All right. My movie is called Fall Ball, but it's really called Fall Ball. All right.
Yeah, cool.
Fall Ball is about fall ball. I have always wanted to see a movie about aggro Little League coaches screaming at each other in Speedos. And what better time for that than at the last gasps of Bush's America in 2009. Fall Ball is directed by John Hamburg of I Love You Man fame.
Oh, cool.
There's a lot of scatting in I Love You Man where he's like,
Yeah.
no problem, Jobin, all that kind of stuff. I like to see that in Jack Black's
Totally.
it just coming out of his mouth. So here's what's going on. In small town Michigan, an army vet played by Sean William Scott returns home from the Iraq War to learn that one of his twin sons' Little League teams is being coached by his idiot brother, Jack Black.
Whoa.
Even worse, the last place team absolutely loves him, like School of Rock style. He's just out there. He knows nothing about fucking baseball. Kids are just running around, picking grass, picking their noses, doing guitar solos in the outfield, you know, and Jack Black's like, love it, kids, yeah, you know, doing his fucking thing.
Yeah. No notes.
And the parents are all happy. They're eating watermelon slices with Jack Black after. He's making out with Kate Winslet for no reason. That's not it. One note. So Sean William Scott, war vet, comes home. He's got the golden retriever at the airport, everything going on. And he comes home and he's like, fuck. Hoping to force his hand, Sean William Scott convinces his other son, the musician, to play for a rival team. So now you got the sons going at each other. Did I steal this from Kicking and Screaming? Yes. But is that the type of recycled comedy that we could use in 2009?
Probably.
Absolutely, yes. I'll go Kyle Gass off the bat right here. I'd like to see Jack Black sing the national anthem at some point. I'm thinking Kyle Gass plays the umpire in this movie.
Play ball.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Umpire play ball. And he's like gonna just take out like a good guitar and maybe do like a Jimi Hendrix Woodstock national anthem while Jack Black is just like fucking belting the national anthem before the championship game. And yeah, that's kind of the fall ball. Like you said, like the plot is kind of as you think it's going to go. But it's mostly just seeing Jack Black out on the baseball field versus Sean William Scott. Two very manically trained actors who have a lot of like known moves. Like we're talking about Jason Statham with the throat stab into the wall. Mm-hmm. They have like a lot of known moves in their bag. Obviously not the throat stab, but you know what I'm saying?
Skadoosh.
It's not too late. Yeah.
It's going to kind of go like that. That's fall ball.
I like it. I do. I mean, I know it's probably the most basic take, and maybe this is what every movies are, but really comedies are just like, pitch me a situation. Pitch me a funny situation.
I didn't want to go too introspective for Jack Black. I was thinking about a rom-com and just putting him with like the hottest woman alive and figuring out how to make it work. But
I mean, I'll tell you, as Jack Black, I would have been all for it.
But as Kyle Gass, I would have been upset.
Imagine they just threw
he gets
Jack
everything.
2009. I'm like, yo, The Social Network, but it's Jack Black instead of Justin Timberlake in that role.
Wow. He's locked in.
He's like, your name is Mary and you're studying French. I am Sean Parker.
Drop the it's clean up.
You know what's cooler than $1 million? $1 billion.
Yeah, that's cool.
People have turned us off hours ago. All right.
Or at least listen to episode yet.
Jables. I liked all these pitches. I thought there was a lot of exactly what I said, you know, great situations for this crazy guy to get dropped into. But I don't know if you can tell I'm kind of delaying the choosing because I think they're all good. I think these are all good situations. So I think I'm going to go with, like you said, I'd go fall ball, but fall ball's been done.
It's been done.
I haven't, the insurance salesman, which I will say too, I know that this is kind of a mess of my own making, but I didn't hear what the name was because you scatted it and I just assumed, but don't tell me the name, or scat the name again so I can.
Oh yeah, it's Max Sunshine. Skibbity-boo-boo-boo.
It's just called Max Sunshine?
Yeah, Max Sunshine.
Skibbity-boo-boo-boo.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm going Max Sunshine. So round of applause.
Deservedly.
Wow. That is. You have no idea how much this means.
No, I know. It's a pretty big deal.
It is.
Well, Grant, were you one of our 8 people when we had the Spotify Wrapped and we had 8 people number 1?
Oh yeah, you guys were number one.
You said we were high.
Yeah.
You were number one.
What a deserved win.
I listened to a lot of, Enemy of the Pod script notes, Enemy of the Pod Locked on Mavs.
Wait, what's Enemy of the Pod?
But,
his top 3 were Locked on Mavs.
Locked on Mavs.
Script notes.
But Elevator Pitch was number uno.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't believe it.
Yeah,
We should
he's
do
lying.
a collab with Locked on Mavs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should. Yeah. See what they'd like to pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Grant, you were great.
Wow.
You clearly have studied other people's moves and you've learned from them. You're stronger.
Yeah.
You came in better. All of our past guests are now like they've got to come back. Yeah, they're like wow.
Yeah, I can
was
tell
outdone.
you're
Raise the bar.
KR drywall man.
Yeah. I'm a big KR drywall KR Drywall, man. Fuck DB Wetwall.
Woo!
Yeah, but I wanted to be better than Jerry Kanawha. So
Whoa. He's going to be really disappointed. I was talking to him before we started recording, and he had like a religious experience at the Minecraft movie.
I mean, he just had a better theater experience too.
I think that's what boils down to.
Yeah, it's like his crowd was electric apparently, and ours was pretty tame.
Yeah.
I shook his hand about 2 hours ago.
Yeah, did you like that?
I loved it.
Yeah.
He's got a great hand.
He's got a great hand.
That's what people say about him.
Hope he's still listening at this point.
All right,
He
let's set the studio on fire and get out of here.
Yeah. Jack was great.
Thank you.
Jack Black. I had a great time watching some movies.
I wish he'd go back to what he used to do.
What does he used to do in your head, though?
To me, it's like he used to bounce back and forth between like adult comedies and family comedies. Now he does family comedies / I guess kind of like ageless IP comedies.
Yeah,
Which are not really, they're not for adults. They're not really for kids either. They're kind of, the 4-quadrant films is what they are. And I'm tired of 4 quadrants. I want 1 quadrant. I want movies that exclude others.
And that
Movies
one
made for
quadrant
scuba
is
divers.
Jack Black in a blockbuster.
Bingo. That's the quadrant I want to
High fidelity. High fidelity.
He's great in high fidelity.
You were talking about High Fidelity. Yeah.
He's his breakout.
It's great in Shark Tale. Fuck! He's a shark, and Robert De Niro is his shark father.
He's Lenny.
I did look it up. He's also in Ice Age.
Yeah, you were right.
I was right about that. He is in
He's
Ice
in
Age,
all
right?
of them.
He's
Yeah,
in all of them,
well,
right?
he's in Ice Age and in Shark Tale.
Yeah, I mean, I know
As
he's in
all
Shark
of
Tale.
them.
Shark
Yeah.
Tale really is such as School of Rock, a movie that is burned into like the deep core of my brain.
Yeah.
That's what I missed as a kid. I didn't see Shark Tale.
Really?
Yeah,
At the car wash.
I've never seen it.
I didn't see it anywhere.
Cleaning the whale's tongue.
Not the the car wash, the library, hell, even the mall.
Will Smith is like a little fish, and he's like, I killed a shark.
I got none of this.
It's a real David and Goliath story.
I think if I watched it now, I wouldn't like it as well. I'll say. I'm sure it's
love
only good for 7-year-olds.
It's like Apollo 11 and a half. It's just really one of our great animated films.
Yeah, he was rotoscope too. Well, Grant, thank you for coming on. You are the man. In fact, you're my best man in my wedding this year.
Yeah.
Is that?
Is that still happening?
We're still thinking about doing it. We're still thinking about doing it.
shit.
Depends on how the
I gotta change some
listenership on
travel.
this podcast goes. Start reeling in the bucks.
Babe, we can't do salmon. We lost KR Drywall.
Well, we lost our only sponsor and only source of fucking money. But
But yeah, Grant, I haven't seen you since we saw Oppenheimer at the Chinese theater.
Oh my
which was
gosh!
a while
What an
ago.
experience!
Yeah.
Oh my God, that
Best
was
place to
you?
see that.
Yeah.
That was you.
That was crazy.
But yeah, anyway, it's great to see you. Great to have you on the pod finally.
yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate you boys. This was a great time. I hope to come on again, but I'm not going to invite myself because that would be
No, you should.
That would be foolish for sure.
It wouldn't be a good
It
look.
would be foolish.
Before we leave, can you scat Fire Nico and then we'll go out on that?
Oh yeah, Fire Nico, brindo da, scadunido, rata, rutata. Yeah, Luka just played his first home game against the Mavs.
Well,
and,
his away game.
His
now.
away game
We
now.
cut a while ago, so give us the stat line.
Yeah, so that's tough. He had at least 30 something
All right.
pain.
Bye.